Welcome to Travisa Financial. Travisa Financial is a purpose-driven wholesale lender. We're not your average wholesale lender. We're a team on a mission to help you open more doors.
Is offer products to home buyers that otherwise would not be able to get into a home. And there's so many.
Reach more families and redefine what's possible for first-time homebuyers, especially underserved communities.
Having diverse lending products opens doors for folks that otherwise might not have access. And so it's understanding different cultures, it's understanding different backgrounds, and the fact that you might not have had the opportunities that others have had, but there's still a way for you to get into homeownership. And so understanding that those different backgrounds exist.
At Travisa Financial, we believe homeownership is more than just a transaction. It's transformation. It's the foundation for building wealth, stability, and legacy. Together with borrowers, we're committed to making that transformation real. Through education, transparency, and heart, we help more families step confidently into homeownership.
It seems so much further away that it's more important today to focus on this affordable lending issue, right? Or the affordable lending challenge to get people into homes.
Because when you know better, you build better. Every borrower you empower, every loan you close, every set of keys you deliver is proof that dreams don't have barriers, only bridges.
For Travisa, it's putting some strength on that bridge, because how you help a broker close a loan, the understanding of the dynamics of that consumer who's now getting older because it's so much harder, who has profiles that we're all trying to figure out, right? When you talk about millennials and Gen Z and their income and all that. And a lot of lenders go, this is just too much damn work. And I don't know if I want to do this because it might not be worth it. I don't know how to manufacture this. Where Travisa can come in and go, look, let's manufacture loans and let's help brokers get these people across, and let's strengthen the bridge, right? It's going to take us some time. It doesn't happen like overnight, but we know how to do it pretty well.
Join us in building bridges that turn the dream of homeownership into reality. Because at Travisa Financial, no one serves first-time homebuyers better.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our EEP Power Up. It's our Deal Desk Thursday. We're going to have some Q&As in a little bit, but for now, I'm going to go over our EEP program and if you guys have any questions, we can save them to the end, but this is mainly for anybody who is new, who's not familiar with the EEP program. A little bit about myself. My name is Monique Manaya. I have been in the mortgage industry since 1997. I've been in all aspects of mortgage, from brokers, retail, wholesale, processing, loan officer, branch manager, and most recently I was the EEP production manager for the government entity that we work with for this program. I manage the processing, closing, the signers for the tribe, the title company, approval desk, pretty much all of EEP. And I helped refine the product. I was on the underwriting guideline committee and contributed pretty much across all of departments. And I truly believe in this program. I think it's beneficial. It helps so many people that otherwise could not get into homes. And so leading to Travisa Financial and why I'm here, I really believe that Travisa Financial helps those underserved home buyers that otherwise couldn't be out there obtaining the generational wealth that others have easier access to. So if you're not familiar with EEP and how it works, the special case of a government entity. So essentially the home buyer cannot qualify for traditional financing. And so what ends up happening is you will bring them over to us and we will qualify them through the EEP program. So we have a government entity. It is the Tule River Tribe. They have some underwriters that will underwrite your borrower. And they can go out and find the home of their dreams. This doesn't have to specifically be a home that the seller is offering seller financing, because the tribe is actually going to obtain an FHA loan through Travisa, and they are going to purchase the home. So the seller is going to receive all of their funds for their home. So we have the pre-approval for your home buyer. Your home buyer has gone out and put a purchase contract in on a home. The offer's been accepted. They put the earnest money down. Then there's an assignment addendum. So this assignment addendum is signed by buyer seller, and then it is signed by the Tule River Tribe. And what this is going to do is this is going to assign the entire contract, including the earnest money, over to the tribe so that Tule River can complete the FHA financing to purchase the home. On the day of closing, simultaneously, the home buyer is going to go into closing and they are going to sign the homeownership agreement. The homeownership agreement also has a memorandum that is recorded on title. So this memorandum being recorded on title is giving your home buyer the secured interest in the property. And I believe that this is one of the big aspects that, really makes people feel like they're homeowners, because they're not going to be vested on title, they're not on the mortgage, but they have the homeownership agreement and it is recorded on title. In addition, they will receive a 1098 interest statement at the end of the year. There's a servicing department that they can call, and there's mortgage statements that are sent out to them. So a few of the program highlights for EEP is that it's completely understood that your home buyers are not qualifying for traditional financing. And so the EEP guidelines are definitely more flexible than, your standard FHA and conventional home loans. They will allow 3.5% down for ITIN, non-permanent resident aliens, and including DACA. Low and no credit scores. So credit scores down to a 580 and no credit scores are also okay. We do allow for alt trade lines with 3-month bank statement programs to qualify income, self-employed, W-2, 1099, and that does allow for a DTI of 50/60. The program allows for no source or seasoning of funds to close. So if your home buyers are saving money at home and then they make a large deposit towards the end of the transaction for their down payment, if it's, the underwriter may want a letter of explanation that they've been saving the money at home, but it's extremely common that most of the people don't feel comfortable saving their money in the banks and the financial institutions right now. So that's always a great option to have on hand. Bankruptcies are okay. Chapter 7, for instance, just needs to be discharged 1 day prior to closing. And the property types are all of the FHA approved property types. So you have, your 1 to 2 units, PUDs, condos, and your manufactured homes. If your home buyers are looking at condos, they do have to be FHA approved. So making sure that at the beginning is definitely a good idea. And if you don't have access to look, please let us know. Seller contributions of up to 6% of the sales price. That is huge to definitely offset any of your sellers or your buyers' funds to close. Now, all of the seller contributions can only be used on the upfront. So any sort of back-end fees from Tule River, which include their first month's mortgage payment, and a few other fees do have to come from the home buyer, or they can be contributed by gift. So when you're qualifying your borrower, you're definitely looking at, home buyers that aren't U.S. citizens, so ITINs. For the doc types, we do have full doc types. So with that, you need 2 pay stubs and previous year W-2. We also have the 3 months bank statement program. So that program is not only great for self-employed borrowers, but it is also great for people that are gig workers or, your waiters or waitresses that get a pay stub. They get a paycheck, an hourly wage. It's smaller typically, but they receive a lot of tips and they deposit that in cash in their bank statements. Reviewing again, minimum 580 credit score. It only needs to be one major bureau. No credit score is okay with 2 alternate trade lines. Verification of rent only needs to have a 12-month history, 0 times 30, only 12 months of employment, and then the max DTI 50/60. One thing that I did want to point out is for the trade lines, if you do have a minimum 580 FICO or higher, we just need to have one trade line. So one trade line that is 12 months, 0 times 30. If they don't have a trade line that is reporting on credit, then that can also be an alternative trade line. So for the bank statement program and the self-employed home buyers, there is a standard expense deduction of 45%. But it is understood that some self-employed people, they don't have any employees and they don't have a lot of expenses. They might be more in the service related industry. And so we have a tiered program. We have the tiered program that offers with a little additional documentation, maybe from the CPA, with a letter, internet documentation, that if you can show that whether their business is service or product related and how many employees they have, we can get that expense ratio down to as low as 10%. So when we're looking at the I-10 market, you're definitely looking at the most competitive program there that I've seen. We have 3.5% down versus your 15, 20 at times 25% down. 3 months bank statements versus 12 to 24 months. The max DTI of 50/60 versus a 43%. And often at times, if you want to go any higher, you need to have comp factors. 580 with only one major bureau and one trade line versus 700 plus credit scores. I think that this program is really, really focused on trying to help these home buyers get into the home. So exceptions can be made. You just need to contact your account executive, run over the scenario, see what the situation is. And a lot of times if you have compensating factors, then we can go lower than a 580. We can go a little higher than 50/60. So definitely don't just look at these guidelines or look at these requirements and think, oh, I can't do it just because it doesn't fit what I'm seeing. We have the support center options for you, the 877-888-ASK-EEP, along with our dedicated email address, which is eepquestions@travisafinancial.com, in addition to the account executives, which are amazing. It's Ben Slayton and Norma Summers. And so I want to make sure that you know that you can reach out to any of us, and we're always here to help you. We can do private trainings. We can do private meetings where if you want to include your ops department, if you want to include any real estate agents and explain the program to them, and you just maybe don't feel comfortable doing it on your own. Looks like we don't really have any questions for today. If there are any questions that arise that come up after the webinar, please feel free to reach out, send an email, quick phone call, whatever you need to get your questions answered. And I hope you guys all have such a wonderful day. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. We have our big masterclass on Wednesday, the 17th. And so I look forward and hope you guys can join us there. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day.